everybody else have a problem? And if it goes back to the comics, I'll take it back to the comic level.
I'm not
Why?
just taking it back to the comics. I'm taking about to the ideals that the character represents, and the fact that I genuinely believe that Anthony Mackie is representing those ideals exactly as I want him to. So I don't have a problem. No, I think he was not only is he the perfect choice, but he is truly embodying the values that the character is supposed to represent.
Well, why can't he embody them in his own? I'm talking about character development, guys. Stop taking
so
me
am I.
back into.
If I may, in the
All right,
Marvel,
I'm getting down. You just keep jacking this back to some place that I wasn't going.
Okay, I mean, like, you could come up and say vaguely veiled racist things, and I'm gonna call them out. Sure, I'm gonna do that because the opposition to Falcon being Captain America is all about racial discrimination, and that's what it's always been about. And his representation, literally, they said it in the Falcon and Winter Soldier when he's talking to Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley says they're never going to let a black man be Captain America. So it really feels, and yeah, I'll bring you up to go ahead and respond to this, but it really feels super fucked up that you're asking it this way, because you are asking a racially charged question about a racially charged issue and taking the racist position of that issue.
How dare you?
How dare I?
How dare you?
I dare
All right,
to.
all right. Let's take it down like 2 notches. There's no reason to get this bent out of shape over fucking Marvel.
Yeah, I actually tuned
I
out
don't
and tuned
give a
into
fat
Salmon
rat's
because I
ass
don't
what
follow
color.
Marvel that hard.
I don't give a fat rat's ass what color Hawk is. I never have.
You didn't even say his fucking character's name right, so you don't give a rat's ass about the character at all.
I
It's fucking-
am not. I
Right,
am
you don't
not
care about
a
the character at all.
connoisseur
Hey,
of
separate. Let her talk.
sapper. Let
Okay,
me get
sorry.
a rude word in edgewise. I don't know an awful lot about Hawk and Captain America.
Falcon
I
and Captain
never
America.
read their comics. The only thing I know about them is through the movies, okay?
Okay, all right. So, well, I guess
All right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't you dare. No,
Wow.
Don't
Okay.
you dare ever accuse me of being racist.
Okay. Again,
Don't ever
I
do it.
asked you to take it down a notch. What
Not ever again.
I don't know where the
I want
racist
an
thing comes.
apology.
Okay.
I do know where the racist thing comes from. I know that the issue, the
That isn't
reason
where I came
Separate.
from.
Hang on.
That is not where I
Both
came
of you.
from.
Time out. Both of you.
You
Time
talk
out.
to me.
Oh my
In
God.
this
I-
situation,
Guys.
don't
Finish the
talk
sentence.
to me about the racist tropes out there that I knew nothing about until you started.
Okay.
spitting them at me.
My question
have
is.
had it.
My question is. Calm down. Jesus Christ! It's a fucking TV show. My point is, if you didn't intend to be racist about it, and Sapper assumed you were, it's on him.
That's goddamn right.
Okay, why are you so bent out of shape?
He's accusing me of being a racist.
He
for
may have
something that I have
misunderstood.
no idea
I
about. He
didn't
just
I
jumped
didn't
on me.
I didn't take
Well,
you to
hey,
be
hey,
racist.
D, if
Just
he's
jumped on
wrong,
me.
then his
D,
censors just,
give him a
his
chance to
censors
say
just
he's wrong. Yeah,
too
give him a
sensitive
chance.
right now.
He just jumped on
You
me,
know,
but
it's
no,
Okay.
you're
he
fine.
didn't give me a
If he's
fucking
wrong.
chance to
Wow.
explain myself. He just assumed. And this is bullshit. And if you guys are gonna defend him, then I just lost
I'm
a
not
whole lot
defending him. I'm trying to figure out what the
respect
fuck's
for you
going
guys.
on. You
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even really know
Yeah.
This
what's
isn't
going on.
about Marvel.
how the fuck did we
This
get
isn't
there?
about Marvel anymore. This isn't about Hawk. This isn't about Captain America. This is about
Falcon.
me making
name's
an
Falcon.
honest comment, and getting accused of being a racist.
Well, D, I'm not picking sides because I'm just out of the loop on the Marvel stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
I didn't
like
catch
if you
it at
did
all.
say something racist, I wouldn't know, and so it's just like, you know what I mean?
And
Like maybe.
Hawk, I love Hawk as a separate individual. I love Captain America as a separate individual.
If you're gonna say you love him,
Why-
can you get the character's name right? Because it really feels weird that you keep saying you love a
Stop
character and keep
being pedantic, please.
I just told you I never read the comics. What's his name?
It's Falcon, and it's not that big of a deal. I don't.
Hey, I'm sorry.
No.
Falcon.
You've got nothing to apologize, Sapper. Stop being so fucking pedantic. Seriously. She enjoys the character, but she doesn't know the name. But this is exactly how it got bent out of shape, because both of you are making assumptions. Calm down. Seriously, this is not that serious.
I didn't make any assumptions.
Okay.
I made zero assumptions. Sapper's the one that attacked me.
Okay, you know what? Let's just start over. Let's just start over.
Well, you
Hang
might
on,
have
hang on.
assumed that it was malicious rather than a mistake.
Right. So
right?
just hang on. Let's start over, because honestly, I honestly completely missed the point of what you were saying when you came up here. So I would love for you to try that again without the commentary.
No.
Please, Dee, tell me what it is that you came up to say, because I still didn't get it.
I love both of those characters individually.
Okay.
And I really thought that the development, whether it goes back to the comics or not, I really thought that the development of the new Captain America could have been a lot more creative.
Okay.
That was my point.
And I don't disagree at all. And I agree with you. I don't think anything you said there was racist at all. There might be racist history behind that, but I don't give a shit about that. But again, as long as I think, in all fairness, I think you start with an
As
apology.
long as you leave the racist tropes out.
No, I'm
Because
going to talk about
was
them.
not
Okay.
where I was coming
Dee,
from.
please
I
dial
was
it down.
that
Please dial it down. I promise you. First off, but just so everybody knows, we are live now. So just so everybody knows, I don't know if anybody knew we went live, and I'd love for somebody to check. No. I don't give a shit if we're live and we're yelling about racism and stuff. I don't give a shit about that. I just would like somebody to check the feeds and make sure our sounds are all good and whatever.
Roger. Would you like me to check it out?
I would love for you to start over with and her basically saying, because I detected no racist about it. She just said she didn't like the way Captain America handed off the mantle, so to speak, and I don't disagree with that. I saw it coming, and I kind of liked the way it handled after that.
You know, like you said, he came of age during the World War, during white male dominance.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that
it should
instead of
continue
saying,
with white dominance.
no,
Oh my God,
come
dude!
on, Sapper, stop doing that.
What? Can you not get past
Why
that?
couldn't he have taken the mantle and brought his own personality, his own
He does.
culture, his own...
That's the story.
You mean like a being? I'm confused. What is
I've
this
seen-
character?
Okay, obviously I haven't seen the movie. What I've seen is everybody's like, oh, Falcon's is the new Captain America, and he's like, everything that Chris Evans was, everything that, oh, why can't
Maybe-
he just
Oh, but-
be
May I actually respond?
doing Captain America things?
May I actually respond?
Falcon. Sorry, I'll shut up now. I'm sorry. I'll turn off my mic.
Okay. So, I do owe you an apology. I made assumptions about it being. I
Goddamn
think
right
what
you
JT. Hey, can I, please?
She's still coming down.
I thought it was muted.
Give her a chance. She thought it was coming down.
Fair.
Okay. But no, I did make assumptions that it was malicious rather than a mistaken understanding, as JT suggested. So I do owe you that apology. I'm not going to drop the topic because I want you to understand why I reacted the way I did. The reason why the reason why this has become an issue, the reason why it's even a talking point, is because it is a racially charged conversation. Whether you were aware of that or not, I will grant you that you are unaware that you were engaging in a racially charged conversation. But the opposition to Anthony Mackie or Sam Wilson's Falcon taking up the mantle of Captain America is very specifically a racist conversation.
Can I offer something as like an outsider who's not like super nerdy on the MCU stuff or even the comics outside of the cinematic universe.
Or the fact that social media people, white cis males are.
Well, just like what if this is like
and spread the
Cool,
ideal.
I'd like
what
to
if
hear
Captain
April
America
sign
isn't
AT.
like isn't a character, but it's like an idea, and it's like it's the torch can be passed, and it's like Captain America can be something that represents all of us at different times, and it's not just one person, and so you don't have to create a new character for this different person because it's a passing of the torch, so that Captain America can be more than just this one person, but it's an idea because it's supposed to be the representative of all of America.
Correct.
So it's like how you have different Green Lanterns, you have different like Captain Americas.
To that point, this is also a broad stylistic thing that Marvel just kind of does. They have more mantles who have passed between characters, and mantles which have not.
So it's
like
so
their
you're
big
saying it's not
thing.
even totally like
let me
outside
take
of
this
canon
back,
for that sort of
please.
thing to happen anyway.
It is more
Please,
common
can
than
you
not.
take this back for 1 minute. I'm just going to say one more thing, and then I'm out of here. Dapper, when I said, does anybody else have a problem with Hawk taking over Captain America? You said, oh, here we go. Here we go. That's what you said.
I did.
You were looking for a problem, Sapper.
I wasn't looking
They
for
did
one.
apologize.
Looking for a
offer my
problem.
opinion on the take on this really quick?
I made an
I'll
assumption.
hear it.
Hang on,
I
guys.
made
Hang
an
on.
assumption.
Hang on.
I apologize for it.
I can
Let Demon talk.
possible.
Can
Everybody,
Catch us
let
be accepted.
Demon talk,
But no,
please.
you've said enough. You've said enough.
Okay, well,
Okay?
sure.
You were
that's-
looking for a problem.
I wasn't looking for
That's
a
all.
problem. That's what I was trying to. I was trying to respond to that. I was not looking for a problem. I
Maybe
I saw
just
something that was in alignment.
let me
with existing
interject
public
for just 1
conversation.
second.
Go ahead.
I was thinking that maybe we might all want to change the subject.
Well, D already left, so damage done. So it's all right.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah. I
But
guess so.
stop arguing over getting a chance to talk. That's what I'm getting at. I mean, let everybody have. That's why I hate having a full stage. Let everybody get a word in, and keep your eyes out for somebody who's trying to talk. D actually was trying to talk for several minutes before you heard her.
I will absolutely try to make more judicious use of my mute button when it is not my speaking time.
The part I really wanted to learn is I want to know if she knows if she's seen anything beyond the Captain America giving him the shield and seeing the new stuff when he was trying to, and it escapes me for the moment where that was depicted in.
I know I did, step over her so other people might have heard. She did say that her only understanding of this is that people are complaining about it. The people who are complaining about it are complaining about the black man as Captain America. That was the assumption that I made.
Not
when
what
I
she.
said,
Yeah.
here we go, right.
That's what
she did. She didn't understand that she was doing that, but she did.
Well, no. I don't think she did. I don't think that's where she was going at all. I think again, I feel like you made that assumption and jumped down her throat before she had a chance to even clarify. I
heard some dog whistly stuff. That is my
if I'm not mistaken, you're the only one on the stage that heard that. The only one here that heard that, because I didn't hear that.
That is entirely possible.
I didn't get especially after they kind of like explained themselves and stuff. I really didn't get that impression at the end.
I'll be honest. I don't feel like she got the real
Opportunity.
Apology she deserved, because and I'm not sure exactly why. Here, she wants to come back up. I'm not exactly sure why she went from 0 to 90 so quickly, and it could be because she perceived as you literally accusing her of racism when genuinely none was intended. I think it's just a misunderstanding.
I believe it wasn't intended.
But again, your personality tends to fill up the fucking room.
Well, they're on the stage. Let's hear
Yeah.
it from them, and then maybe if we can get a quick resolution and just.
And then we'll take Kelly's advice and move the fuck on.
I apologize for losing my shit, guys.
Cool.
I apologize for screaming at you, Sapper.
Thank you. I appreciate the apology. I do.
Now,
And go ahead.
and you apologized for making assumptions, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But then you went on.
Mhm.
You went on to say, "But I'm not going to drop the racism thing." And to me, that was just you trying to continue to push it where there was no issue to begin
No.
with in this conversation, Zapper. In this conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I think now's the time that we need to go ahead and move on from this topic.
And shit, if Kelly's vouching for D, then that's all I need. If Kelly says he's definitely not racist, that's all I need. So Sapper, shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I said if Kelly's vouching for you that you're not a racist, that's all I need. So I told Sapper to shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay. I do want to be clear. I understand how how I phrased it. It may have come across. I wasn't trying to accuse you of being racist. I was trying to express that this is a racially charged topic, and most of the opposition to Anthony Mackie / Wilson being Captain America that is out there being argued about this is hate for the black man being Captain America. I appreciate that that's not why you were expressing your opposition. I'm
glad I got that.
I am a little upset that I do have to keep having this conversation, but I made assumptions that was the direction you were taking it, and I shouldn't have.
Thank you.
I appreciate you saying that. And
I
if it and you're that's a hefty accusation, D. Don't be you're it's okay. That I would be pretty upset if I was that was not my intention and that was what was being made out to be. It's all right.
I feel like she stepped.
Hold it against you.
I feel like she stepped on a trap card, and it just exploded. And
But yeah.
All right.
Let's
go ahead and
down anymore. Thank you. Thank you. For letting me have my say. Thanks for not kicking me out of here. I went crazy.
Oh shit! Sapper was closer to getting kicked than you were.
That's probably true.
Frankenstein, blame Marvel all you want, but please don't blame Stan Lee.
That's right.
No, it's all
hey, D, before you leave, before you leave,
blame Stan Lee.
Before you leave,
blame Stan Lee.
Before you leave, I really want. I'm curious if she knows where the story goes next, with the new Captain America coming out.
I don't know. I'm tuned out of Marvel.
No, I don't. But I'm curious now.
Because it's about to become a real wild ride because it's gonna go crazy. So, if you enjoyed it, I think you'll. If you enjoyed, did you watch Falcon and the Snowman?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes, thank you. Falcon and the Snowman's a whole totally different show. Sorry, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Not the only one.
Yeah, you're not the only dumbass up here. Trust me, I'm a much bigger dumbass. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Did you watch that?
I did not watch any of the Marvel stuff on Disney Plus. So
There's some really, really good stuff, and if you like Falcon as a character, I think you'll really enjoy that because I enjoyed it a lot. I really enjoyed the Disney Plus stuff on Falcon, and yes, Falcon.
Some really great characters.
Falcon and the Snowman was a fucking great movie, so I will defend that too. So shut up.
All right. Okay, thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks for coming up.
Demon wants to play.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give Demon a
fuck.
chance.
Demon's gonna come up here and yell at me about Marvel. Fuck her. Don't interrupt her. Oh, she's here.
I don't know nothing about nothing.
Uh-huh.
Winter Soldier, what Scotty was saying, I enjoyed that too.
Well, and like I said, the new Captain America thing, I don't know. I'm a much bigger fan of the movies. I was never a big fan of the comics. So when people start yelling at me about canon, I just tell them to shut up and go away. Um,
I mean, I'm Bucky. I'm Bucky. You know, like, you know.
and I had to convince my mom the other day talking about WandaVision.
Oh, amazing.
Can you not?
WandaVision took forever
Jesus.
to get interesting. I was like, it took like 3 episodes, but when it did, it just took off.
And then Agatha just
Agatha
fucking
all along was the same way. And if you
solidified it.
wait, say it again.
I said Agatha just fucking solidified it.
Yeah, oh, good. I thought you said it sucked.
Okay.
I was going to take you off the stage. Dave, you and I are going to fight because WandaVision was not terrible. It was hard to get through the first 2 episodes, just like it was hard to get through the first 2 episodes of Agatha. But once you did, the payoff was totally worth it. I was really impressed with Agatha all along, and the way they tied the whole thing
No
together.
spoilers now.
What's
I
that?
got
I'm on episode 2.
I
Okay,
got a fun fact about WandaVision.
Kate.
So you know the commercials that they do in there?
Uh-huh.
Well, the original concept was those commercials were supposed to be Doctor Strange trying to break through her hex to contact her.
Oh.
And in they actually filmed there was the one, I think it was like the very last commercial that they did where it was the doctor trying to like tell you if this medication was right for you or whatever, right? The original, they filmed that commercial with Benedict Cumberbatch as the Doctor, but then delays on Doctor Strange 2 because of COVID, delays on Doctor Strange 2 and how long it was going to take for them to finish it, they thought that there was going to be too big of a gap for that lead-in, so they decided to change it and not specifically include Cumberbatch in that last commercial, but it was still like somewhat implied that that was him. All those commercials are him trying to break in.
I did not know that.
But yeah, they changed it because of the delays in Doctor Strange 2 filming.
It is
Which makes sense if
definitely
you
a
look at
shame
how
that they
2 went
did,
down.
that they didn't communicate too well on the writing for you know, the Doctor Strange movie with Wanda, because WandaVision, like, it felt like it had a direction that it was going with Wanda, and then Multiverse of Madness kind of went in a totally different direction.
I disagree. I thought that was what was being set up all along.
Well, I'm not saying that you know, her being a villain couldn't be the main part. I'm saying that her direction with it was a bit too sharp of a turn, if you know what I mean.
I think they're maybe not as clear as they could be on how much the Darkhold is corrupting her.
That's fair. That is fair. I will say though, Scarlet Witch has been a classic. Is she an ally or a villain? She has gone both ways many times in the comics. Particularly because she was perceived as being the daughter of Magneto for some time, and she was responsible for the no more mutants, and she hexed the whole world so no more mutants could be born, and like 90% of all mutants lost their powers. So yeah, she's always been a
She's kind of a bitch, but you know,
she's always been
arcs, I guess.
She has a lot of redemption arcs, to be honest. She especially after they retconned her being a mutant, and apparently they changed it so Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were not actually Magneto's children, but they were given their powers by the High Evolutionary. That was something that they retconned because of the wars between the MCU and Fox. And so they just literally wrote her as no longer a mutant in the comics so that they could use her in the MCU.
Disney stuff and Sony stuff.
Yeah.
Capitalism.
All that. So she's no longer a mutant, and became an enemy of the mutants because she was the one who they consider her the mutant population of Genosha considers the Scarlet Witch to be basically the mutant Hitler. She is responsible for the largest mutant genocide that ever has happened. So yeah, her being a villain, totally. It wasn't really a stretch for me. It wasn't a huge turn. Wasn't a sudden thing.
No, I'm not saying that.
It was very. Yep, this makes sense.
No, I'm not saying that it wasn't sudden that she was a villain. Like that I think was needed to go that way. I think it was, as said, it felt like the Darkhold corruption. Like there wasn't enough lead-in because it felt like a totally different personality switch without much explanation, is what I'm saying.
And it might be because part of the explanation was a post-credit scene in WandaVision. Because they had a scene.
I mean, I did see her reading it.
And then also had that like that she heard the voices of Billy and Tommy, and so that kickstarts her obsession with trying to reconnect with her children at any cost necessary. He seems to be watching commercials. I don't know.
I couldn't hear you over it. Every time we talk about Stan Lee, it reminds me of that.
ERB?
Oh yeah, the epic rap battle.
Now get back.
Yeah, now get back to work. When you said Disney, yeah, that is some great fucking stuff. Those guys are awesome. Oh, I thought I had that fucking goat fixed, and it's still going hi-ho occasionally.
What is that bot? What is the fucking point of that bot?
Well, the bot's doing tons of other things in addition to doing crazy shit like that. So it's doing announcements, it's doing welcomes, it's doing all kinds of. So here's the story of it. It's the Me 6 bot.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I first took over the server, there was a single log channel that nobody else could see called Missed Logs. And 10, 12 times a day, it would just go hi-ho in there. And I kept seeing, like, I could not find where it was coming from. Didn't think anything of it at all. So the other day, I migrated my premium Me 6 to this server and started doing things. And I customized the name and the icon so it'd be a goat bot. And then the fucking hi-ho started sneaking in here. I've been through this dashboard.
It's like a fucking virus.
It is. I'm telling you, the goat is just rabid. It is running amok, and I cannot find. It keeps taking away the trusted role from people. And I don't know. Here's what I suspect.
Tweet twice now.
Here's what I suspect happens. I suspect that a previous admin configured it, and it's like it's on their dashboard, and I can't see it, and I apparently can't kill the fucking thing. I don't know. I've actually I'm part of the I'm on the Me 6 support board trying to have them help me figure it out. I don't know what I've got to do, but my guess is, like, whenever you have the bot attached to a server, you have to create a bot. I've done the same thing over a T-Jump server too. You gotta do you have to have an app token and create all this stuff, all this programming shit in the background, and I cannot figure out why that now it's been let loose. It's been running all over the server, going hi-ho for no apparent fucking reason. I give up. Yeah, my life's hard. What can I say?
To be fair, I mean, so
To be fair,
I have used Me 6 specifically for my server. Obviously, I'm doing the free version, and I haven't messed with any coding, which I have a feeling might be the case. Like, because you can actually go in there and like write specific code.
Yeah.
And I suspect maybe if you look at, I mean, it could be the case that what you're seeing on the dashboard that you're not seeing everything.
Yeah, that's what I
the
suspect.
previous one.
Nobody's noticed it yet, but I don't know if you noticed that Chris's membership is being tracked in the channels. If you see below the starboard.
Hold on one second. I'm on my side here, so. Oh, yeah, I saw that. But I, you know.
So the bot is actually it's checking his subscriptions, and it just adds it there slowly.
Okay.
And
It's like I could tell from the number. I was like, okay, this has to do with his subs, but why is it saying no one is currently in voice and it's acting like a stage?
yeah, no,
know?
it's a locked channel that nobody can join. We can join it because we're moderators, but a regular user can't get into it. But it's just a way for the bot just updates that number when it checks the numbers. Just a quick little way. And there's also people can create their own voice channels. That hub there, that Join to Create VC. If you click on that, it should create you your own voice channel. So, yeah, like I said, it does lots of things. It's very, good night, Frankenstein. Thanks for stopping in. It does lots of neat things. Oh, wow. Demon just went over there to click on it, I think. And,
I see what you're saying.
And now, it says you're not connected to Timberwolves.
Oh yeah, I'm fucking with. I'm
yeah,
like,
she's trying to break shit. Now, look, don't fuck with the goat, man. The goat's got enough problems. Don't fuck with the goat.
Doing here? You're crazy.
The goat's gonna be enough problems. Don't mess with it. You're gonna break it.
I'm not. I just want to.
I know you just want to touch things. I tell you something's there, and you just gotta go
I
touch
don't
it.
just touch
You're gonna touch it.
You know what?
Stop touching things.
Nah, you gotta have TikTok. China. Come at me, Jeff.
Yeah, and I can actually have it
I was
tracking.
curious if it was gonna let me do that, which I assumed no, and that's a good thing.
Good night, Sapphic. Thanks for coming in. All right, what else can we rant about?
I am personally going to disconnect. I think, I tried to get some sleep, but I can tell my brain is gone. So
I'm not
I
gonna
better
lie.
disappear for the goat virus. I catch that one too, and then it'll be my third infection. I don't need another one.
I was ready to crash tonight too, but I figured I'd come hang out for a bit, see how long I last.
Yeah. If you need anything, obviously just message me. And if you want to crash,
I think we
I'll
all need
jump
to.
in.
I think we all need to get into a voice chat one night and just share all of our DMs from Messenger reveals just to see who's got the most outlandish. I'm pretty sure I win because I had him so pissed last night. I was loving it.
Scotty,
Oh,
you're wrong.
I'm
I
sure.
win because he never came into my DMs.
Oh. You missed out.
Oh no! I'm saying I'm the winner.
I'm gonna tell you want to talk to him because you feel like your heart is soft enough and receiving enough.
God, if you haven't figured out my heart is hard as a fucking granite piece.
Well, that's why he couldn't make a dent in you.
Mm-hmm.
Vic, go to bed.
all right. I better do that before I end
that's-
up doing what
I
I
know
did
that's what you
in
were
that
trying to
DMT
do. So.
session. All right. Have a great night.
Good night.
And I will admit, I'm only going to be here for like maybe another 20
Oh yeah,
minutes.
I'm not pulling a 4-hour tonight. Simon's here just to guilt me until I go into Star Citizen. I'm pretty sure. So I think.
But yeah, no, kids weekends, the Friday nights where I got kids are usually going to be shorter nights for me.
Understood.
thankfully, my youngest is 11, my oldest is 16, so they are fairly self-sufficient without me. I don't have to be like on top of every little thing, but you know, I still got to spend a little time with them.
I hear you.
But it is nice. Like, seriously, I feel like I've done a really good job of teaching my kids to be fairly self-sufficient so that they don't need me for every little thing. I think that there are parents out there who are not succeeding in this, in
Oh my
making
God,
sure that
it's
their
on
children
fire.
are self-sufficient.
Oh my god! Sorry. It's on fire!
I see, Scotty, your like things lighting up, but no words.
Oh, it's probably because I'm fiddling around over here trying to read messages and.
Oh, so it's just probably picking up on
Yeah,
background noise.
I don't have my microphone optimized to keep me from hearing my every little breath. I should.
Well, as long as the breathing doesn't get too heavy.
I just don't have kids, you know, so I'm not gonna like criticize.
I've got a couple extras if you want some.
I'm good.
Are you in a
studio apartment, bro? Me and my cat fight for space.
Is it immoral to bring an unwilling child into this world, in your opinion?
I don't know. I got like a weird. I don't know if it like makes sense to say that something is immoral or not.
No, because before we went live, you and I were talking
yeah.
about the anti-natalist thing.
I think. I mean, like, just don't have kids if you don't want to have kids. Especially if you really don't want them so bad that you're gonna like treat them like shit. You know?
That is so the fucking truth, guy. Like, man, there are some people, I don't know why they even have them. Like, why? Why did you do this?
My wife
Yeah,
does.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna blame you for having kids, but like, because it's just, you know, we kind of got like we're hardwired to want to do that, but don't treat them like shit.
My wife does daycare out of the house, and I think it's one of the most effective child birth control methods we have.
What's that?
Yeah, oh, right.
She does daycare, and she's been doing it for 24 years, I think.
I think part of sex education programs in public school should be all of the kids spend 2 weeks volunteering at a preschool.
Mm-hmm.
But no, for context, before we went live, JT and I were talking about when I encountered an anti-natalist who just said that I was a monster for bringing unwilling children who didn't ask to be born into this fucked up world, and it was immoral to do so.
That's always weird to me.
Yeah, it's a pretty weird take, right?
I've never understood those people. I do take. I do take the time to thank them for not reproducing.
I mean, there is that, right? At the very least, they're not contributing to the problem.
That's right.
But no, it's kind of it's really fucked up to just take that hardline stance that a person is immoral just for reproducing, when, like as JT said, like there's a fucking drive there. Like we are literally.
Gotta remember, we are animals. We're not like.
We are animals that are driven to reproduce because life does that.
Got so many biological we got drives that make us want to reproduce because we want to be moms and dads, but we also got like all these crazy drives, especially when we're young, that just make us like behave recklessly in ways that wind up in reproducing.
Yeah, that too.
But there's like so many different vectors to our biology that lead toward, you know, we
Making
literally we're made. Yeah, just that's what life is. We're like made to make the next.
Right, because that's the whole point, is surviving long enough to pass on your genetic material to the next generation.
No, I don't know if there's like, I don't know if that means there's like a point to it, but that's like, you know what I mean? That's like, I don't know, that's like a different thing. But it's like, yeah, that seems like that's like what all the hardware is like kind of set up, or at least like pointed towards.
No, I love how you pointed out the fact that we have like redundancies to drive us to do this, right?
Yeah. There's like an age where you just act in a way where it like happens accidentally, and then there's like you hit another age where it's like, oh, I want to be like you know what I mean? You get like baby fever type shit.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's like so many like we're just like hardwired all the way along.
I will
It's
admit,
like, look, it's like the bird doesn't like go to school to learn to fly, you know?
No, it gets kicked out of the fucking nest.
It doesn't go to school to learn how to make the mama bird lay viable eggs.
Mm-mm.
You know.
But shit, I lost where you said a thing and then I was gonna respond to it and I lost it. Oh well, if it's important, I'll think of it again. Or won't.
But I don't know. I don't think it's like I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. I don't even know if those kinds of.
It's amoral, right? Yeah. Reproduction is amoral. It's not moral. It's not immoral. It is without moral. It's just a thing that happens. What becomes moral or immoral is how you interact with those things, right? How do you interact with the act of reproduction? Are you morally engaging with the other person, right?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So you're saying like so it can be like you can perform reproductive acts in a way that's immoral or not immoral, but like it doesn't the sufficient factor isn't whether you're engaging in reproduction or not. It has to do with other factors.
Right, and then also once reproduction has happened, there's obviously a morality associated with caring for and rearing the
I think there are a lot of antinatalists though, and because I don't know that it fully captures like the argument well if it's like just saying like it's immoral to like bring a new person into this bad world, because a lot of people just take the position that like humans are bad to be around in nature.
I mean.
I'm not saying they're correct, but I'm saying that's a characteristically different opinion that needs like you got to have a different response for that at the very least.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying like humans being bad in general, the track record kind of fits that potential narrative. I'm not sure I agree, but I can definitely see somebody coming to that conclusion if you just look at history.
Yeah.
But it looks like we have a new person who wants to join the conversation, Bella. You got some?
Did you change your name?
Oh, hello.
No, Scotty did.
Oh. Interesting.
Why am I called Belen?
I don't know.
That seems a bit unfair.
I do believe Scotty can answer that.
I thought it was obvious. Do you not know what a bell end is?
Yeah, I know what it is. I just didn't. I thought.
No, I'm just curious if he knows what it is.
Philip did it himself.
I know. I mean, like you're calling me an idiot and stuff, but like.
That is a bit rough.
Well, that's
I actually. What's your what? Do you have something to bring us today?
Oh well, you were talking about antinatalism, and I have a probably my most controversial philosophical view. I have a lot of views that are controversial. Like
We've
I
noticed.
This is your most
reject,
controversial.
I reject natural selection. And,
I mean, you're wrong.
Well, is that a philosophical view? Anyway, I want to hear the one that
yeah,
you say is your most philosophical, or your most controversial.
most controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's probably the one where I think that if there was a button presented to me and I could press it and it would blow up the world, I would press it. And not only that, but I think it's a good thing to do.
Cool. So you're a genocidal monster.
Well, why do you think? What do you mean by that when you say that it's a good thing to do?
I think that it agrees with my moral viewpoints better. I think that it would be bad to not blow up the world. I think it's a good thing to do.
Well,
So
It's a bit of a hard.
Can you appreciate how that's like tautologically uninformative? At the very
Yeah, I
least?
mean it's a bit of a hard question to answer because I take good to be a primitive.
Why does your like what can you render an argument like from your moral framework that allows us to conclude or agree with a conclusion that says that it's a good thing to do?
Yeah, so I can give you an argument from analogy. So this is taken from a short story by Ursula K. Le Guin. In it, she tells of a city, an absolutely perfect city. There's no corruption, no sickness, no starvation, no homelessness, no nothing. It's a perfect city. Everyone is in total bliss basically all the time. And that city is Omelis. But the dark truth about Omelis is that in the bowels there's a broom closet with one single child just basically forced to suffer non-stop, day in and day out, taking and clear, taking their own feces. And
really
if they were,
is there a way you can distill it?
yeah, that's what I'm doing.
it's
And if someone were to say even one kind word to the child or take the child out of the broom closet, Omelis would just become like any other city in the world. And so the people just sort of accept that this child is just going to be stuck in the broom closet made to suffer. And that's where she sort of ends the story. But I sort of thought to myself, well, if I was in Omelis and I was presented with a button that would blow up Omelis or not, then I couldn't really forgive myself if I didn't blow up Omelis, like for the sake of the child. No, those are the only two options I have. It's either blow up Omelis or do nothing and let the child suffer and Omelis go on in bliss.
I got some questions.
I just couldn't forgive myself if I didn't do that. And I'm nearly done. And then when you look at the world we live in now, and you look at all of the amount of suffering, the torture, the rape, the murder, the death, the suffering, the starvation, I mean, it's just on a scale that's unfathomable. And I just don't know.
Why should I care about this argument? It's just you've concluded by saying it's just something you couldn't forgive yourself if you didn't do. It's like you could just be some crazy person that couldn't forgive yourself if you didn't get the ice cream into the freezer within 20 minutes after leaving the grocery store. Why should I trust your intuitions about like what you can forgive yourself for?
Yeah.
Well, if you just think that it's totally fine to just leave the child to suffer in Omelis for the sake of the city, that's fine. But that's not my view.
Okay, I got some questions.
Like all moral arguments boil down to sort of intuitions anyway. That's it.
I'm not sure I agree with that, but that's so you said you couldn't forgive yourself if you didn't blow up this fictional city. right?
That's right.
Okay. And this is the second time you have used a fictional story to base your argument on. Why do you not base your arguments on reality?
What? I don't understand what you.
Like you're basic. You're saying, okay, there's this fictional city. Last time I talked to you, there was this fictional chicken torturer. These things don't line up with actual reality. So why
Doesn't
are
matter.
you saying it does? Because that's not real. So why are we not
do you
talking
think the
about
trolley
real
problem?
things? Why are we not talking about real things to make
Wait.
our judgments on our real world?
Wait, do you think the trolley problem is useful?
I think the trolley problem is honestly, it's some philosophical bullshit that I don't really need to incorporate into making decisions in life. I believe that I believe in a maximizing benefit and minimizing harm. That is my moral philosophy. Whatever I need to do to maximize benefits and minimize harm. So the trolley problem isn't useful to me. I'm not going to be throwing the switch to kill a bunch of people on tracks anytime soon, in my best estimations.
But you don't understand. The point of these trolley problems is to, like, see the consequences of a person's moral view and whether they're actually going to follow those consequences. So, like,
right, but you do realize that is inherently flawed because it creates a false dichotomy. There's other solutions to problems.
The trolley problem is just an interesting way to find out like how someone is applying a certain framework. It's
exactly that's the point.
Yeah, but it's not. You don't use the trolley problem to like figure out what's right.
Well, you can. Why wouldn't you?
What the fuck do you mean you can't? That's why it's a problem.
What if instead
oh my God.
of switch on the trolley problem, I just run out and go get the people off the fucking tracks? There's another option.
No, you don't understand.
Yeah,
no, look, you don't understand.
Fine for teaching, fine for understanding different frameworks, terrible for actually proving a point.
But look, you've laid out, Sapper, sort of standard utilitarianism to maximize happiness and reduce suffering, right? That's like standard utilitarianism.
Maximize benefit, but go ahead.
Maximize benefit. Okay, whatever. But then, of course, I mean, what's your response then to Philip Foot's hospital argument?
I don't know it. What is it?
So basically,
dude, I'm not a philosopher. So.
Well, basically, there's five.
He isn't either.
I'm not a philosopher, but I've taken some philosophy courses at uni.
Well, you're not a professional philosopher. I think you're a philosopher if you're engaging in. To me, it's like you're a walker if you're walking. You know.
Sure.
But, yeah.
I'm stumbling. Go ahead.
Sure.
So there's 5 people, and they're all they're dying, and they each need a different organ. And one healthy person walks into the hospital, and the doctors realize we can kill this one healthy person, give each of the organs to these 5 dying people, and save the 5 dying people.
If you're an act of utilitarianism, then the hospital is like obligated to do that. But not everyone. There's no reason to think that that's the correct. There's no reason to think that that's like the correct framework.
Yeah, exactly. But the point is that if you think that no, it's still not a good thing to do to kill that one healthy person for the sake of those 5 people, then that just refutes you to like the classic standard utilitarian.
Okay, so you may be like you may have like you could be like utilitarian and have a deontological constraint about autonomy.
That's fine. That's fine. You can be a rule utilitarian. That's totally fine. That's not the point. The point is that this analogy.
Or I could just use it as a baseline for understanding right and wrong. But when I'm actually encountering a choice, I'm going to make the best choice that I can in that moment. I've learned things to inform that choice, but that choice is still going to be an in-the-moment choice and may not even be the moral one.
That sounds like rule utilitarianism.
I don't know. I don't know if that, whatever the phrase you want to call it.
Like you acknowledge you can't in the moment know the downstream effects of your actions. So you're gonna have to use a heuristic guideline in order to.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to get my
in general,
best,
this is yeah.
Just trying to get my best baseline foundation for what is right and wrong in making choices.
She is getting bullied, and I'm not okay with it.
Maximizing benefit and minimizing harm is a really good foundation and baseline for that, in my opinion.
Look, all this is totally fine. My point being was just that these sort of unrealistic, if you want to call them hypotheticals, just sort of if you deny that it's a good thing to kill the one person at the sake of the five, then that just means that you're not a classic utilitarian.
Okay.
Cool. I never said I was. I said I used it as a
No,
baseline.
that's fine. That's fine, but then saying
classic anything, dude.
Okay, well that's good.
But I did want to address a couple other things. There were several things that you said that really red flagged me. I addressed the first one. The second one is I literally listened to you say genocide is good, and that was a weird one to hear.
No, I didn't say that.
You did. Okay, sure. Let's break
Was
this
that
down.
tonight?
Would you consider destroying the entire human population to be genocide?
As
a yes or no question.
The
Would
whole
you consider
human
destroying
population.
the entire human population to be genocide? Yes or no?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, it depends.
What's the definition of genocide?
Motivation.
What's the definition of genocide?
I don't. Isn't it genocide is killing an entire race?
Yeah, like the whole human race, right?
UN defines genocide, intentional destruction of national, racial, ethnic, or religious group. And this can.
Oh yeah, in that case, I'm. I'm not a genocide.
This can mean that you
I'm not
kill
in favor
them,
of genocide.
but it can also mean that you displace them out of an area.
Sure. Yes. Right. Yes. Displacement does count.
In that case, I'm not.
Or
genocide.
prevent births, different.
So you don't think killing every single person on the planet counts as genocide?
No.
The intentional destruction of a national, racial, ethnic, or religious group is included in the intentional destruction
all of them.
All national, racial.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not doing it.
You just said you would
to
push
a particular.
So you're saying it's genocide, but it's not selective genocide.
Well, I mean,
it's not like hate motivated genocide.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not doing it to a particular. I'm not doing it to a particular.
Indiscriminate genocide.
Okay, so it's a kind. So it's like a broader. It's actually a worse kind of genocide because it's like all genocide.
Yeah.
It's like all the different genocides you could do as a summation.
At once.
Yeah.
Well, again, I deny that. I mean, look, it just comes down to a semantic dispute, I suppose.
It's a yes or no question. Do you believe that killing every person on the planet is genocide? It's a yes or no question.
Unilaterally subverting the will of every human that exists.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't.
Well, you're wrong. Just definitively wrong.
Okay, well, look, I mean, what I understand genocide is that it's motivated by hatred of a particular group.
But we just gave you definitions that don't include that. So
yeah, but that's not what the international community agrees is what genocide.
But I take it that my blowing up the world is because I love. people. Like, I care for humans, and I care for animals. That's why I'm
God said
blowing
the
up
same
with it.
thing when he flooded the world, right? Because he
Which,
loved us.
like, which framework are you using that, like?
This is weird.
Yeah.
I'm a principled particularist.
Principle particularist.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
What is the principle? What's like the principle you're operating on?
Well, there might, I mean, there might be an infinite amount.
What's like? Do you have like first principles?
No. I mean, I can give you one. All else being equal, killing someone is wrong. There you go.
But
That's
you
one
just
of
said
them.
it was good. to
Yeah,
kill them.
yeah. What? This implies
so,
a contradiction.
8 billion wrongs make a right.
No, it
What the
doesn't.
fuck? But you
No, it doesn't. There's no
Then why are
contradiction
you
there.
saying it?
Killing
Because
a
all
person
else-
is wrong, but killing all.
All
Wait,
of it is good.
you've
because-
maximized wrongness if you kill
Yeah.
all people.
No.
Yeah,
No, look, you're not. No, look, you're not
I don't think
understanding.
you're discussing this with us honestly at this point.
Yeah,
Look,
you're trying
if you're
to
not gonna let me
some
look,
serious goalpost shifting.
I said all else being equal, killing is wrong,
else
but
is
all
equal.
else is not equal. Exactly. So there's no contradiction. I don't know why you're like.
What do you mean all else being equal?
So in a fictional scenario that you create, it's not a contradiction. Got it.
What?
Well, so then what's the purpose of saying that at all?
Sorry?
What's the purpose of saying all else being equal, it's wrong to kill people? You acknowledge that you don't live in a vacuum. What's the purpose of even having that as like a principle in your moral framework?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So the point is that it's just going to count against doing that action in every single case, right? So you might have some cases where, I don't know, like, let's say I'm just walking down the street and I find a gun and I just shoot something, right? Like, there's really no other, like, principles that I hold to that would make that one evil action outweigh. But let's say, for example, I don't know, some lunatic is holding, like, a bus full of school children hostage, and unless I, like, shoot him or something, he's going to blow up the whole school bus filled with children. Well, now I have motivating factors to kill that person. So whilst it now might count, like killing someone might count against that action, there are other greater motivations that count in favor of doing it. That's sort of what I'm saying. Thank you.
And so how does it seems like you're working on this in like some arithmetic sense, like you can calculate this.
No.
How does this? Oh no.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
So
how does this scale up to where you're justified in, like, blowing up the whole world?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like we're in this. It doesn't seem like we're in this situation on the bus that you're describing.
Well, I think that there are some.
And even on the bus, you said you were justified. What was the conclusion of the bus story anyway? You were justified in killing the guy.
Yeah.
But you weren't justified in, like, driving the bus, like killing the driver and driving the bus off a cliff. So.
I don't think so. No.
So even as an analogy, this doesn't get you to where you need to be.
Well.
Because that's the kind of result you need, is for the, like, you need to be in your analogy, you need to be justified in killing everybody on the bus.
Not sure that's true.
Hello. Sorry, I kind of want to move on, and some of the audience members want us to too, a little bit.
Fair enough.
Because I feel like we're running in circles on this one. Bellop, I just gotta say, yeah, no. I think everybody here listening, I don't want to speak for anybody, but I'm fairly confident most people just listened to you say genocide is good and tried to argue it.
Oh, no, I didn't say that.
You did.
No, but look.
It's okay. No, when you did, but
I didn't say that.
Oh, well, we've been recording it, so you can always go back and listen to the tape.
I understand,
this is
Bellop,
just
that
a
you think
semantic
genocide has
dispute.
to be like a targeted hate thing towards one particular group that specifically excludes other groups, and that's not like what the international community agrees on. But regardless, what you were trying to argue by analogy, which is, you opened by saying you were gonna try and argue by analogy. What you tried to argue by analogy is it didn't get you where you need to be.
No,
I know, but
I removed him.
I'm finishing what I'm saying just for.
I mean, he accomplished what he came here for. He came here to waste time.
That's somewhat what I figured.
He's as useless as a fucking screen door in a submarine.
But there's like one question. There's some value in understanding why, because these people will go and talk in other spaces too, and it's like if there's, I don't think there's like, I don't think it's ever completely valueless to just slap shit down like that.
Oh no.
People will go and argue in other spaces.
He's got a
people will
history.
come from other spaces.
He's got a long history of doing this shit.
But
he won't make a dent in him. He will just keep on doing it. He will waste everybody's time.
I'll agree with you.
He gets
I don't
off
think he's
on
fully
it.
arguing honestly, because even where he was trying to go with that, it didn't get him where he needed to be.
I did have one more question for him, and that's and it's the I'm not a philosophy bro, but he did say that he one of the first things he said, and I wanted to come back to it if possible, and I still welcome you, Bellin, to come up, or Bellup, I'll respect you for your real name, because I don't want to just insult you while I invite you up here. But you said that you reject natural selection, and I am a biologist. That is something I know a fuck ton about. So if you want to come up here and talk natural selection with me, I'm not much of a philosophy guy, and JT, I mean, I wasn't understanding a ton of what you guys were talking about, and kind of zoned out on some, but like picked up on some of the things that I did have some thoughts on. But no, if you want to come up here, Bellup, and talk about natural selection, I know a fuck ton about natural selection biology. I have a degree in marine biology, so if you want to come and explain to me why you reject natural selection, my first question would be for you to define natural selection as you understand it, and go from there. So, would you like to come up, Bellup, and talk about natural selection with me after? Because I don't get philosophy shit, but I do get biology. All right. Well, he wants to come up. Let's bring him up. All right. So my first question for you is, can you define natural selection as you understand it?
Yeah, I can, but I don't really want to debate natural selection right now. It's gonna take too long, and I'm kind of tired.
I mean,
but
I was pretty tired listening to philosophy shit, but I get it. So I get it.
Yeah, he came up to do wine more is all he came up for.
Yeah, so you came up just to tell me that you don't have the time to have the conversation. That's fine. Again, the invitation is open. I know quite a bit about this stuff. So when and if you want to have the conversation about natural selection, I am fully prepared to have it with you.
Okay, I'm happy to, but weren't you the guy that gave a definition of natural selection that wasn't even propositional?
What?
I'm pretty sure.
Did you just ask if his definition was not propositional?
Yeah, because I debated a guy about natural selection. I'm pretty sure it was you. And he gave a definition of natural selection.
When are definitions propositional?
Definitions are...
Give me an example of a definition that's propositional.
No, sorry. Not a definition. An explanation of the theory of natural selection.
Okay, I'll back off.
Okay, an explanation of natural selection doesn't... Why would it need to be propositional? What do you mean by propositional? Honestly, if we're gonna have this conversation, I did say I wanted to start a certain way. I wanted you to give me your definition of natural selection as you understand it, so we could go from there. So, do you want to have this conversation?
Look, okay, I can do it for a little bit, but I can't do it for a whole hell of a long time.
Okay, so what is your definition or understanding of what natural selection? Because you said you reject natural selection. So I want to know what it is that you are rejecting.
Well, let me just be specific. I'm denying that it's a scientific theory in that it's saying anything that makes novel testable predictions or
okay, you're wrong.
is anything other than like a tautology.
Okay, sure. That's not a definition. What is the definition of natural selection that you are rejecting?
Bellop, what's the thing you're saying that we are saying is true that's wrong? Like,
yeah, I just understand that. Yeah, I just understand the natural selection to be the thesis that if a certain organism has phenotype T and T prime, and T is more conducive to fitness, where fitness is like survival, reproduction, however you want to cash that out. Where T is more conducive to fitness than T prime, then T will be selected and moved to fixation over and above T prime.
Is conducive to fitness an absolute, or is it like a function?
What do you mean?
Is conducive to fitness is like, is conducive to fitness the kind of thing that I'm 50% conducive to fitness, I'm 60% conducive to fitness, or does it depend on other things like my environment, my diet, the population around me?
Genetic.
Is it a function? Is it a function of other variables that are not always the same?
Yeah, so it would be a function of other variables. For example, running fast might be conducive to fitness in a certain environment, but not in others.
So something that's okay. So you would be like, you would agree if I took like a tree frog from the rainforest and put in the desert, it would score very low on conducive to fitness. But if we put it in the jungle, it might score very high.
If you gain fitness in one environment, you necessarily lose fitness in another.
Do you acknowledge that, Bellop?
If you gain fitness in one environment,
then it may not actually necessarily be true. You could actually suppose you gain fitness in an environment that doesn't exist here. Right, like you actually it's completely there are completely deleterious mutations and stuff.
Sure, but one of the examples I like to use, I mean, the very obvious one is if you take a land animal and throw it into water, or a water animal and throw it onto land, right? It's fit for being in water, but not on land. That's
sure. All I'm trying to get out of Bellop is I just want to understand if we're on the same page about is fitness. Is fitness the kind of thing that's just you are fit or you're not fit, and that's just a thing about you? Or does fitness have to do with like where you are and the stuff that's around you and it's external factors besides just you?
Well, I take fitness to be dependent on all of those things.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So if you are able to, the best survivor in a desert environment, and you go into a rainforest, are you fit to survive in that rainforest?
Maybe not.
No.
It doesn't necessitate that you're.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Suppose you're like fit for a desert.
Look, can I just say, like, Scotty, why are you
30,000
continuing
pounds
to like
of
troll
seawater
me in the comments?
Oh, I don't
like,
focus on the conversation. You fucking just focus on the conversation.
Yeah. Suppose I take you from the desert and put you under 30,000 pounds of seawater.
All just like talking shit to me, and it's just like.
Just ignore it.
Yeah, just ignore it. Focus on the conversation. You clearly can't do more than one thing at a time. Focus on the conversation or fuck off.
So, I like to use reptiles as an example. If I have a lizard, now a desert lizard is one of the things that these reptiles do is they will sunbathe themselves specifically so that they can use solar radiation to kill off fungal and bacterial infections that might build up in their scales. So they'll just sit out there in the sun and just let the sun burn off the nasty fungus and bacteria. Now, you take that desert lizard and put it in a rainforest, and it can no longer use the sun's radiation to burn off all of this fungal infection. It's going to get scale rot and die. So
I don't want to lose sight of what
it specifically makes it unfit for a rainforest.
we definitely wanted to get. We wanted to get what Bellop meant by natural selection, and we definitely needed to understand what fitness meant inside of that. But we do still want to know the rest of what you mean by when you're saying natural selection's not true. So we've kind of
understand what you understand it to be, Bellop. I don't understand what
I don't think we
natural
actually got
selection to
past that. I actually interrupted Bellop for clarity.
Yeah, I just understand natural selection to be.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just understand it to be the thesis that if an organism has traits with phenotype T and T prime, and T is more
Can we get
conducive.
rid of T and T prime? Let's get rid of the T and T prime. Let's just simplify the language, because I promise you it doesn't need to be that complicated.
It's not that complicated.
These are just abstractions. They could be A and B. It could be he's saying
A and B. Yeah, I'll
there's
just
two,
use A and B. Phenotype. It could be like green skin.
So you've got an organism that has the potential. It could have two different phenotypes.
What
and
if I told you there's
what's
more
the
than
rest
two
of what you
phenotypes?
understand? Well, let's just hear the rest of more than one.
I can simplify it even further. Okay, look.
Please.
If an organism has trait A, and trait A is conducive to fitness, then trait A will move to fixation. That's it.
Can we?
But you just acknowledged that trait B, but you just acknowledge this organism doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? You could have organism 1, and trait A is more conducive to fitness in environment triangle, right? But then organism 2 could have trait B that's more conducive to fitness than trait A in environment square.
Exactly. You're sort of getting where the argument's going, right? You're sort of understanding why natural selection doesn't work.
Well,
they're not. No.
Yeah.
Come on. No, but I want to wind it back though. I want a definition. You're still not giving me a definition. What is the definition of natural selection? Without all this trait A, square B, all this stuff. No, just what is natural selection? What is it? Because you haven't defined it yet.
I just did it like 3 times. It's just the idea that if an organism has trait A, and trait A is conducive to fitness,
stop with the trait
then
B. What?
Look, if you're going to interrupt me every single time,
I actually think Bellop's giving a fairly it's a fairly good understanding of what's going on here with this phenomenon. You've got an organism.
For reasons.
Well, I'll get to that. I think what's happening is we've got them to agree that there's a separate function going on here that has to do with the environment, and they're leaving that out of their definition, even though they agree with it when they're asked about it. And so, but the rest of the definition seems to be in the general sense mostly pointed in the right direction.
Okay. May I, to avoid the
spinning? Yeah, wait, Sapper, can you just define natural selection for me?
That's where I was going with it. Exactly where I was going with it. Yes. Natural selection is a mechanism by which organisms that are more adapted to their environment are more likely to survive and pass on the genes that aided their success.
Sorry, say that again.
There you go.
Natural selection is a mechanism by which organisms that are more adapted to their environment are more likely to survive and pass on the genes that aided their success.
There you go. That's the holistic.
Okay,
that's the
fine.
holistic, complete picture that captures the missing piece that you were, I don't know
Yeah, I'm
about,
happy with that.
intentionally or not leaving out.
Okay, so what?
I'm happy with that
It's
definition.
Cool. So, what about that do you reject?
So if it's understood as in an extensional way, I think it's false. And if you understand it in an intentional way, I think it's vacuous. But again, like I said, this is going to take like...
There is no goal. Evolution has no goal. There is no...
No, I mean intention with an S. Intention with an S. It means that when you substitute the co-recurring terms, the truth value of some proposition doesn't hold.
Okay. What about this do you reject? I'm asking you a question, yes or no. Do organisms that are more adapted to their environment, are organisms that are more adapted to their environment more likely to survive and pass on the genes that aided their success, yes or no?
Yes, but I don't think that's a scientific theory because
it is a scientific theory. It is.
No, it's not, because I don't think it can make any predictions.
What about Tiktaalik? What about Archaeopteryx? What about
Wait. What's the thing that we don't think can make predictions again? Can you say that again, Sapper?
Natural selection?
No. You said something about passing on genes.
Passing on genes that aided their success.
That is that's like the statement that can be tested.
Yeah. That's the statement.
What do you mean? What do you mean you can't test that?
I don't. I'm saying that's like trivial.
Are more adapted.
It's trivial.
More likely. It's not trivial. It's literally how it all works.
No, it's not trivial because there's lots of organisms that don't do that.
What?
It's not trivial because there's organisms that don't pass on their genes, and that falls in line with the predictions of the model.
Organisms that don't pass on their genes.
Yeah, because they're either defective, they're not fit, yeah. There's lots of organisms that live and then die without reproducing, and that's fully in line with the predictions of this model.
Wait, they live and they die without reproducing. Wait. So I don't know much about biology, so I just like.
Yeah, well, Belop, is it possible that you could die before you have kids?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. That happens to lots of
to your genes if you die before having kids. What happens to your genes?
They stop. They don't get passed on.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the ones that manage to reproduce will be more likely to pass on the genes that aided their success, correct? Than the ones that do not.
Yeah.
Okay, that's natural selection.
Okay, but I still think that's kind of trivial. I still think that's kind of trivial.
It's not trivial. It's literally how it all works.
No, I'm not denying how. I'm not denying that's how it works. I'm saying that's trivial, right? That's just like saying the ones who survive. The ones who reproduce.
The ones who survive pass on the genes that aided in their success.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Belop, is it trivial? Can I ask you a question? Is it trivial that positive charges repel positive charges?
No.
Okay, so then what do you mean when you say that this is a trivial statement?
Oh, and just to respond to the person in the comments, I don't think that this is what broke the church. I think the theory of I think that universal common ancestry broke the church, not this theory.
What?
Sorry, what was the question? It was.
Yeah, that's the problem. Fucking focus on the conversation. Stay out of the comments.
I guess I'm just asking. You accused him of saying that the claim that natural selection makes.
No,
is a
I didn't
trivial
say
one.
something even dumber. I don't know what this
Or
guy's
not.
talking
You
about.
didn't accuse him of saying that. You
Us.
accused the claim of that natural selection makes of being a trivial one. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Like
What is
it's.
trivial
Do you,
about it?
are you saying it's just
I mean that it's
tautological?
true.
You just said it was
Yeah,
true.
almost, yeah. I mean, it's true, but it's
Almost.
like I'll give you an example. So, like,
Actually,
let's
don't
say
want to rope
someone
you guys.
comes
I
up.
don't want to rope you guys away from the science-based discussion into a philosophical one again. So,
I would really like to keep it on the science here because it's
Yeah.
really important that you understand the mechanisms and what we can test for, because you're saying we can't test for this stuff and you're rejecting it, and I don't really understand what you're rejecting.
But Bellop, I need to be clear here. You're saying that's trivial, and so you kind of need to explain why you would expect that to be the case anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm saying it's not really explaining much of anything. I'll give you an example. Like, let's say you're getting into the stock market and you
but you're
someone
saying
comes up
it's
to you and says,
if it's not explaining
wait, why are
anything,
you
then it's
interrupting me?
if it's not explaining
Why
anything, then it's merely descriptive. Why would you
why are
expect it
you
to be different?
why are you interrupting me? Can I please just finish?
Because I feel like you're wasting
So,
our
like,
time.
And going down some weird
look,
rabbit
this
Yeah,
is
hole.
why I didn't.
well, you're not like addressing what's
You
actually
feel like he's
being asked
wasting
of you.
time.
I
Now
don't
you're
think you're an
catching
idiot.
on.
You're not answering.
Look, this is why I didn't want to get into it because it just takes too
Because you
long.
don't know what you're talking about. That's you.
No, I
literally-
do.
You don't.
You
I mean,
don't know. You literally said you
I mean,
don't know.
look. I'll hear what you look.
Don't understand these things.
I'll hear what you have to say, but I don't think you're actually even answering like in good faith what I'm actually asking you. But if
Look,
you want to continue, go ahead. I'll
yeah.
let other
So,
people decide.
and let's
if
say
it's
someone
best.
comes up to you and says, "Yeah, I have a theory that explains, stock market winnings in every single case. You follow this rule, and everyone who's ever followed this rule has made it big in the stock market, and everyone who's failed has not followed this rule. Okay, here it is. Here's the rule.
Please.
Buy low, sell. No,
It's
no,
important. It's
I'm
important.
listening
No.
to you.
no.
But I don't
The
see what this
theory
has
is-
to do with you're
Oh my God,
saying
okay.
you're saying
Look, if I
his
can't even speak, then there's no point in me staying.
Yay!
You
That's the best thing you said yet.
keep arguing from analogy, and it's just like we want to know what you're saying is like why is his account of natural
was nearly
selection
done.
uninformative?
I was nearly done.
Nowhere near
Alright.
done.
Finish your stock market analogy that has nothing to do with science. Go ahead.
And the theory is buy low, sell high.
Yeah,
Right?
Cool.
Now,
and
it's
everyone's
true.
going by this.
It's true that everyone who's won has followed that rule, and everyone who hasn't followed that rule. But like, if you're looking for a theory that explains people, like if you're looking for a theory that's trying to explain
You're
why people
arguing
win,
against induction right now, and that's just like this isn't the place for that. You're gonna spend the rest of your life trying to do it.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm not arguing. I don't know what
I have a question.
I don't know what you think I have. Like, I'm not arguing against induction. Like, what are you talking about? I'm just saying that
Then
that
why are you
theory,
questioning?
buy low,
Why are you
sell
questioning
high,
whether something that's right
doesn't
100%
really
of the time?
explain.
And
Oh my God.
I have a question.
Look, I can't really speak. I'm constantly being interrupted, and
I'm gonna
it
mute
just
myself for a
feels
second.
like
You finish your Wall Street analogy. I have a question for you, because there is a really big problem with your analogy from the beginning that I want to address. Do you realize that the word theory in science is not the same as the word theory in colloquial use? A theory in science is the absolute highest level that an idea can be elevated to. A theory is an explanation that has a ton of evidence to support it. And when something is elevated to the level of theory, that means that in order for it to be wrong, it would change our fundamental understanding of how things work. So when you say it's just a theory, you don't.
No,
know
I'm
what
not saying it's just a theory. No, look, you're not understanding.
When you compare it to the colloquial use.
No,
of
look, you don't understand, dude. Look, this is near impossible.
Can I? I was trying to finish the sentence. You started interrupting me. Right.
Well, you're kind of
You're not
Belloc, you're kind of
understanding a
rendering a
single
fairly
thing.
heady philosophical argument when the guy that invited you to the stage said he wasn't like super here for the philosophical stuff and wanted to
Yeah,
talk
and that's
science
why I
with you.
said I didn't want to talk about it.
Okay. But
That's
you
why I said I
but you
didn't want to
acknowledge
talk
that
about
you're
it.
like you're giving the more philosophical side of the argument and not really talking
Yes,
about
that's true.
I'm
Fair enough.
trying to
That's
get you
true.
to understand the science which you are rejecting and not understanding.
No, I'm not. Look, I'm rejecting that it's a theory and then it makes testable
Okay, if
sort of
you're
like
rejecting that
predictions
it's a
that
theory,
aren't
you understand
trivial.
what theory means in science.
He's saying that Belloc, are you saying, I don't want to straw man, are you saying that these are the predictions that are made by natural selection are predictions that you would expect even if natural selection was not true?
Sorry?
Are you saying that the predictions that are made by natural selection would be true even if natural selection was not true?
Well, I mean, it depends what you mean by natural selection, because, like, I understand natural selection to be sort of like...
what you mean. The definition that you just gave us to argue against.
The definition that I gave you several times.
Oh, no, well, I'm not denying that if it's sort of, like, understood in the way I'm understanding it to be, but it's just sort of trivial. Of course I'm not rejecting it. How can I reject it? It's trivial. So, I mean, I guess I'm not really understanding what the question is, because you're saying something that's trivial
I'm
is false.
asking you, like, if is there a way to arrive, like, the predictions that natural selection is making are true? Do you acknowledge that?
Purports to make. Well, that's what Fodor...
It is making predictions. It's not... Are you saying
Fodor...
that they're both predictions?
Well, that's what Fodor is arguing. He's saying that the predictions that scientists are saying the natural prediction is making, natural prediction actually isn't making those.
Then how are they coming to the predictions that are true? If natural selection is not doing it, are they using like a shadow method?
They're using what Fodor calls grandma science.
They're using. Wait, say that again. I want to hear. Wait,
that he's not paying attention to.
I think it's called grandma science.
Oh dear fuck! What?
But the grandma science is leading to true predictions.
Yeah, that's true. Look, I'm not suggesting they're doing anything wrong. What I'm saying is they're not using natural selection. To make these
what's the
They are using natural selection to make predictions.
You and I need to talk like one-on-one sometime.
That's fine. I'm happy to do it. Look, what I can do is just... Look, I'm kind of getting sick of this. Like, if you want to discuss with me, that's fine. But, like, you don't need to, like, keep insulting me. Like, it's not really...
I'm not trying to.
No. JT, you're one of the only ones who's actually, like, argued, I think, in most part, good faith.
Well, we're just both doing the we're just both doing the philosophy thing.
No, Sappa's been okay, I guess, as well.
Thanks for your
look, what I can do is I'll post in the text chat I'll post a video link, and I'll post a blog post, both of which explain the argument fairly well.
Do either of them explain the science aspect, or is it all philosophical?
Make sure you're on incognito mode. You got a VPN. You got your cookies turned off. You're fake.
Jesus fuck.
All that.
This is what's been frustrating for me with this conversation is I have been trying to explain the science, and you're just saying nope, that's not science.
That's confused. If natural selection's wrong, but you acknowledge that it's making true predictions, are these like...
No, wait, just a second. I'm denying that the predictions
okay, so
are being
these are just things that are like
selection.
What are they being made by?
Well, a whole bunch of things. They're using induction. They're using
But are they
common
true?
sense.
Are they coming to true predictions?
Oh yeah, I don't doubt they're doing good work. I
So
just
then,
don't
Mike,
think they're
what's
doing.
What epistemic standard are you using that says
Look,
like
dude,
these
I'm
people...
sorry. I can't look. I'm real tired, and this is why I didn't want to get into it in the first place because it just takes too long.
Because you
But
don't
look,
know what
I
you're talking
put
about.
what I suggest is that you look at the 2 links that I shared. So the first one is a blog post called "Darwin Was Wrong," and the second one is a video about argument from against theory of natural selection. The second one, it has Alex Malpass in it, who sort of talks about natural selection because he accepts this argument, and he's a PhD philosopher. So
is there any reason why none of the stuff you've sent me has been like, you know, published or peer reviewed or like?
Oh, I can get you the peer. Yeah, I can get the peer-reviewed stuff that's been backed by guys.
I'd actually just like that instead of YouTube.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, I can get that to you, but it might be a little bit more complicated. This one is just a more simplified version.
You can read it. And if it's on a database, I should have access to it through my university. So if you give me just the title of it, I should be able to find it.
Okay, so. Oh yeah, here it is. Jerry Fodor Against Darwinism, published in 2008. I can see if I can get the link.
Don't worry, just post the title in the text chat, and that'll be good. I'll get a link for everybody later. If it's not immediately available.
I am curious why a PhD philosopher would have philosophical evidence that would contradict the years that I spent in biology labs actually learning.
Well, there's a reason. There's a reason you appeal to like the consensus instead of like a single figure in authority.
No, I'm saying I studied this shit and I know it works because I know how it works and have studied it, and I have a blog post.
No. Look,
from a philosopher.
I don't think you understand.
I don't understand what value that has to me.
Yeah.
In understanding of the science behind this. I don't understand what value that has.
Yeah. So.
Oh wait.
Deny...
Are you saying that natural selection's just not the only thing?
Not quite.
Because that's... Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Not quite.
Because that's what some of the literature that you're giving us seems.
No, I know.
What I'm saying...
Some, like, creationist shit, right? Yeah.
It's not... I'm not a creationist. I accept evolution. I accept universal commonality. We evolved from apes. We evolved... Like, I accept universal common ancestry. I don't believe in God.
How are you rejecting natural selection, which is the mechanism that it works by?
Well, it sounds like...
I don't think it can be.
But it is. I've watched it.
No, but I'm saying that what I'm doubting is I'm doubting that you're seeing natural selection. I think you're seeing creatures pass on particular phenotypes in a given ecology. And not pass on certain others, and then pass on different phenotypes given a different ecology. I think you're witnessing that, but I think that natural selection isn't really playing a part. It's not really explanatory.
This is frustrating. You just gave a weird description of natural selection, and then said, "I think it's this and not natural selection."
Yeah, I guess if you were gonna argue, you know, hey, natural selection's not the only thing that's going on. There's just like a whole whole lot of like, you know, just weird random stuff that happens. I might be able to like get on board with what you're trying to tell me. But if you're saying just natural selection's not involved at all, I think that sounds absurd. And I think we have the I think we have like all the data to prove that.
No, I think it's like trivial, but look,
well, trivial doesn't mean wrong.
Of course, trivial basically means right. Like,
So
I
then what's your
think I
problem? Are
broadly
you
agree.
rejecting? What are you rejecting then?
I'm rejecting the idea that it makes predictions and it's explanatory. I think it's just as
But it
explanatory
is.
as
It
buy low,
makes
sell high.
predictions. It is explanatory. You're rejecting a thing that is the thing that it
Bro,
is.
this is the most confusing fucking. Because it's like everywhere you
Look,
turn, it's like we
this is
disagree,
why I
we
didn't.
agree, we
This
disagree,
is
we
why I
agree.
didn't. This is why I didn't want to get into it, because it's just gonna take too long, and you guys can't. You guys can't listen to me.
Are you? What do you mean explanatory? Are you saying you can't? Are you saying that you can't take like evolution and all the different environments changing over time and like have like an initial value and predict where it's gonna like propagate out from that point? Is that all you're trying to like? Like, what are you trying to say that
didn't
it's
really
not
track that.
Like, what are you trying to say that it's not explanatory?
Well, I'm trying to say it can't really make predictions on a given environment. Like, it's not gonna predict. It can't. I mean, the technical term. It can't
because
distinguish.
you can't predict the
It
environment.
can't. It can't distinguish. It
You
can't
can't predict how
distinguish.
the environment's gonna change.
It can't distinguish between traits that are selected for and traits that are selected of.
Well, and it's
Yes,
also the case that you
because
can't.
You're studying the
Look, I
population, not
can't.
the
Look, I'm
individual.
sorry. I can't do this anymore. Look, I'm too tired. I'll talk about it with you some other time. What I suggest though is that I don't really want to talk about this again until you've watched the video and read the blog post at least, because
And I don't wanna
otherwise
talk about
I
this
just
again
have to
until you
explain all
actually
of this.
Understood some of the science.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, this argument doesn't have much to do with the science, but
You're
whatever.
saying natural selection is either trivial or not explanatory. You've got a whole lot more reading to do than anybody else here.
Yeah, you got homework, guy. If you want to be actually having this conversation,
I'm not gonna hear demands.
Oh yeah, demands. Sure, I'm not. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, there's so much that you just don't understand about what you're talking about.
There's so much you don't understand.
Uh-huh.
You didn't know
Because
what an
one
intentional
Says
with
the
an S
philosopher
was.
to the biologist. Fucking idiot.
This.
Okay, well, Scotty, I can prove it to you.
No,
Sapper,
you
what's
can't.
an intentional notion with an S? What's an intentional notion with an S, Sapper?
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher.
Okay, there we go, Scotty. There we
Right,
go.
you're talking
See, he
about
doesn't
fucking
know-
biology, you stupid
doesn't
idiot.
know-
Shut up. I'm tired of hearing from you. You're literally arguing with two people who know biology with your philosophy degree. Go fuck yourself. Oh, I'm just done with a piece of shit. No, you don't get to speak. You get to fuck off.
Yeah. And I will say that is about how much time I had for the evening.
God, I don't get why anybody wastes any time engaging him every time it comes to that. Every fucking time.
I'll learn my lesson. That's the second time I've seen him.
Yeah, I mean,
I like talking about science.
but you weren't.
I tried.
You were talking science to a fucking toddler. It's a waste of time. He's gonna go away convinced. He's not gonna learn anything. He's not gonna read anything. If you guys don't learn his stuff, he still won't bother.
I read he posted the same
Oh, I
stuff
know.
that he posted last time I talked to him. I've read what he sent already.
He's such a fucking waste of time, and he just none of this was interesting to anybody. I guarantee it. Anybody who knows lulz, they know he's a huge waste of time. He's like this every fucking time. I was literally in chat because I didn't want to derail him, but he couldn't focus on the conversation. He didn't hear half what you guys were saying because he's too busy looking at what people were saying in chat about him.
Well, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
I don't know
and
why.
I'm fucking nuts.
I don't know why.
And I'm fucking nuts.
Well, yeah. But anyway, like I said, I'm done. I'm just done.
Yeah, I think this was a maybe not the best note to call it on, but it is definitely a tiring one.
It's a note. Let's put it that way. It's a note.
It's a note.
Because I agree. It might be interesting to have a conversation, but it would have to be something that's like a focused conversation, and he can't just throw around philosophy terms when you want to talk biology. That's the part that I just don't get.
Yeah, that was the frustrating bit because I kept trying to steer it towards the science, and and that's where what was it? There was a point where he was literally like, "This is, I think it's this," and then he just literally described natural selection. He said, "I think it's this and not natural selection." I was like, "You think it's natural selection and not natural selection?"
Safik said the same thing in chat. Everybody picked up on it.
He's just she did. That sounds, you know what? It sounds like she would have been right on point on that.
And
sounds
if you want, and if you, I honestly believe that he's trolling. I honestly don't think he's really that stupid. I think that he knows how irritating it is, but how anybody can waste time engaging with him over and over again.
I don't know.
You don't think he's trolling? You think he's really this dumb?
Yeah, I think he's not trolling.
I think his favorite chips as a
I don't
child
think
was
he's
paint.
I don't think he's stupid.
I don't know about that.
I think he's I don't know.
I don't think he's anywhere near as smart as he pretends to be.
I definitely do attribute. I lean more on Hanlon's razor with this kind of stuff. I do think it's probably more not understanding. Hanlon's razor is like never attribute to malice what can be explained by stupidity or ignorance. I don't think he's like a complete dummy. But like I usually tend to, unless someone's like when someone comes out like on the damn show and they got like the name of some guy who did like a mass shooting or something, like, yeah, that's a troll, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, like with his messenger and stuff like that, I tend to lean on like maybe they're fully duped by what they're talking about,
right?
You know?
Yeah, no, I feel like with his messenger in particular, that's one that I think that he thinks that he's on a mission to save souls, and that he's gonna steer some of us away from the hell that we are destined for. And thanks, but no thanks.
And so probably there's probably some times where I'm like, I'm more charitable than I ought to be, or I'm like giving someone more grace than they actually deserve. But I tend to lean on like assuming someone's just bought into what they're talking about, even if it's dumb.
I know that it is possible, even if you have two people who don't agree, to listen to each other. And I did. He's like, you're not listening to what I'm saying. Like, no, I'm listening to what you're saying. What you're saying is blatantly fucking wrong. Like demonstrably wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get him to listen to why it is demonstrably wrong. And that's what we couldn't get past.
And
I just
you never
don't
will
understand what you mean when you say something is like. I don't know what he was getting at. Like, how is natural selection both trivial and wrong? What? That's like saying like, yeah, like we already know gravity makes stuff go down. That's just like a trivial thing to say, but it's also not true.
I think I got a good analogy since Bella loves analogies, right? You like usually when you're arguing with somebody who's gonna move the goalposts, they move it farther, they extend it. You gotta chase them. But with Bella, he moves the goalposts all around the field. Like, you're trying to go for the 50-yard line, and now all of a sudden the goalposts are back at the 30.
Sometimes he jams it right in your face.
It's like, wait a minute, we gotta go backwards now to chase those goalposts. Like, what the fuck? Can you just move the goalposts forward like a normal person?
Yeah, that was confusing.
All right, well, I have a Spider-Man date with my son. He moves it into the locker room. Yes. Hit the chalice. The goalpost is on a golf course. Man, I love you people in the chat. This is beautiful. It's amazing. It's hilarious. And that's the note I want to leave on.
Yeah, not our best, but not our worst. I mean, I think we're definitely landed somewhere squarely right in the middle, the median, the mediocre.
Yeah, well,
ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.
I'm gonna find some clips out of that shit to have fun with.
I may show up for Sci-Fi Saturday morning. I may not.
All right, well, if I see you, I'll see you.
I need to get a membership.
Thanks for all the show up. You don't have a membership yet?
I don't know why I keep sloughing on it.
It's 99 cents a month.
I know. Well, actually, I thought about it last week. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. And then my bank canceled my card, even though it didn't expire. So I'm waiting on a new one in the mail, and then I can do it.
The Australian shows up right at the end of the show. Great job, Easy Rider. Thanks for showing up, man.
Is it daytime there?
Well, no, banks will do that sometimes. Like when they send the new one out, they cancel the old one, but the new one hasn't arrived yet. Like that's happened to me before.
This was actually it actually caught me really off guard because my situation. I was really pissed off at my bank. I was like raising hell and shit, and then it was all my fault. You know what I mean? I was in the bank. I was like, "You guys are robbing me." They were like, "This is a robbery." I was like, "No. You guys are robbing me." No, I ordered like 2 years ago. I lost my card, and I ordered a new one through the app, right? But it didn't cancel the one that I still had. And in the meantime, while it was in the mail, I found the one that I thought I lost, and so I just kept using it. And I put the one that they sent in the mail like in the drawer. And when that happens, my bank puts like a soft expiration date on it that they don't tell you about. And it's not the expiration date that's printed on the card. It's just like, however many months from the time you ordered the new card. And so it's been like 2 years since I did all that. And then just on some random day, I bought gas with my card. And then 15 minutes later, I tried to buy groceries with the same card, and it wouldn't work. And I had money in the account and everything, and I'm sitting there running it again and again. It was embarrassing, but it was me. I ordered a card, and I should have. So the lesson learned is if you order a card because you thought you lost one, and then you find it in the meantime, just use the new card they send you in the mail.
Oh, is that it?
I don't know.
I put everyone to sleep with that shit.
No, I've been looking for something.
I have trouble typing and talking at the same time.
Yeah, you're good. No, you're good.
It's almost like my language center and my brain cannot go in two different directions at once. But the reception language center is a separate part. I can listen and type, but I can't talk and type.
You're good.
I brought Easy up to say goodnight to.
Well, good night, Easy. Good night, all. Good night, Moon. Go the fuck to sleep and whatnot.
Good night, Moon. I can't hear Easy.
Yeah, I see him lighting up, but his microphone's showing as muted. There he goes.
Yeah, is that working?
Now it's working.
Yeah.
There we go. I apologise, my microphone is utter shit at the moment.
No worries. How you been, man?
Living the dream, sir. Just the absolute fucking dream.
Yeah, I can relate. I know what that's like. Actually, it's been a shit kicker week. I'm pretty much done. And I go on call next week, so I only get a 2-day weekend. And then back at it. But yeah, we were just wrapping up. You missed. Did you ever talk to the lulls? Remember lulls from politics?
Briefly, I think we've spoken a couple of times.
You could literally hear your brain cells just dying in agony as he talks.
Yeah.
These guys keep engaging with him. I keep letting them come in here. I don't know why. I just don't get rid of them. And it's
suckers for punishment.
It is, man. It is mind-numbingly stupid. But
I just don't have the time to deal with idiocy. I can't.
I hear you. I am a glutton for punishment, I guess. But we're trying to get this server built up. We're doing these usual Friday night, get people together. We've had some interesting people show up. Were you here for the night we had shoot, I can't remember his name. Leonard?
Oh, I don't think I was.
Random guy. Pretty sure he found us because we're streaming live to YouTube. And I think he just randomly found us and popped in. And one of the guys recognized him right away. It turns out he's like some old music composer from like Second City TV and SNL days.
Right.
And he's got a channel, and he posts music all the time. I mean, he's absolutely gifted, but he's also just nuttier than squirrel shit.
Is this that wiry hair dude that popped it in like a week? Oh man,
the guy who
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, he hit his head or something back in the 80s, or I don't know exactly what it was. And it absolutely altered him. There's no doubt about you could tell that he's altered. And I don't mean in a good way, like hit the bong altered. He's permanently skewed. But he's got this whole story that involves money from the devil, like $32,000, and I mean there's a whole spiel to it. There's an interview that's kicking around. No, he doesn't. Simon does not have his hand up. I tried to get him to come up, and he won't come up. He refuses to talk to me until I play Star Citizen with him, I think. So yeah, it was actually interesting, but also a little unsettling. Because
I try Star Citizen once a year and refund it every time.
Yeah, see, I paid $65 back in like 2016, 17, whatever, and I've installed it like about every 18 months, and it sucks, and I uninstall it, and I curse Simon's name for making me do that, but I even jumped back into it. I downloaded it again, and I actually was able to play for a while there. They're sucking me back in. I've seen these videos with the salvaging and stuff. It looks good.
It does. That's how they get you, bro.
But then I saw Elite Dangerous has another new thing coming out too. So I was grinding Navy rank there. So I just can't find a game that holds my attention longer than 2 days anymore.
I feel that there's less soul to them now.
Yeah, every game I get get all excited about it, and then I just kind of just kind of fall on my face. So, anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up for the night, guys. I might jump into Star Citizen for a little bit with Simon if he's gonna be awake for a while, but if he's not, then I'm just going to crash out. Mod RD2. No, I'm not gonna do Red Dead Redemption single.
I was an RDR2 addict for a while.
Well, I jumped back into Red Dead Online because I used to play that a lot too. I jumped into that for about a week or so, but I couldn't get anybody to join me in there. And he's been
would totally join you if it wasn't for like all my effort. I used to play on Xbox, and then I switched to PC.
Yeah, I went through that too.
I can't. My save would just be gone. I'm like,
I had to start all over when I went from PlayStation to PC. But for a while there, we were playing a lot. I mean, I logged in and I have like 100 gold and I have like $5,000. I mean, I've got plenty of money to do whatever I want, but it's just boring as shit by myself. So.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find any groups to play with because they're all either hackers or weirdos.
Yeah, if I knew people that were playing, I'd get on with them and start over. I just didn't, I wasn't going to do it by myself.
There's talk about getting a gaming group on here if anybody wants to get involved. But
yeah, if you set up a channel, I'll pop in and figure out what's going on.
All right, I'll get something going.
Hey.
Figure out some game. All right, guys, thanks for showing up. It's rather good to see you, man.
It was good to see you all.
Guys. Peace. Catch you later.
Have a good night.